the purpose of going to the meeting is not just finding your new partner, is meeting new people, because we want to spread our friends, our community, and know other people. And with knowing a new person, maybe you meet your new partner.
Are you a single, shy nerd struggling to find a player too? If you're still trying to figure out the skills you need, here's a tutorial to get to the next level. Learn from experts and fellow nerds who found their partners, the mistakes they made, and how they still ended up together, with no cheat codes. I'm Alex Goldstein, and this is the Roll Today podcast. Welcome, everyone. I have brought Virginia again. If you haven't heard the episode where she talked about her relationship, I really suggest you go and do that. Today, we're going to talk about something different. So I have been talking to many people who say, as an introverted, shy person, maybe a nerd, a geek, how do I meet people? Like, I don't like bars. I don't like clubs. Where do I go to meet someone to date? And we have an experience. I mean, where we met is a place where we met, I think, at least for my side, almost all of my nerd friends come from that. And that place was, I think it still is, an association, a nonprofit that was like a fun club where the main goal was to spread the work of Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Silmarillion, etc. And this was before, it started before the movies, right? And I can't remember, did we meet through the forum or did we meet through the meetings? Because we had like monthly, it was sort of like a cult. So like we met every month in person, the association, but also the forum.
Yes. Actually, we talk on with messages on the forum, and at what time I said, okay, let's meet each other in person before the meeting, and let's go together to the meeting, because Josefina and I start reading the books, and we were like, oh, this is amazing. We really like this, and we want to talk to other people about this. And we find out the forum online, and we join, and we start reading and discussing online with other people. And I remember internet was something like I was 16 years old, and I was a little bit afraid of who was the person on the other side, because it was all messages. We were not on a video seeing each other. So we decided to meet someone and then go to the gathering of the whole group together.
So you two read the books and you were like, well, I want to talk to people about this. Did you look for a forum online to talk about it? Or you just like Google Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I don't remember that Google exists at that time.
I think it might have been Yahoo.
Yahoo, yes. And so we searched for information online because we were eager for more information. And we are nerdy on that side. And we found out that the association existed, and I don't know how we find the forum. And yes, we wanted to meet people. Now that you say going to the association meetings was easier because it was in a cultural club or something like that they rent.
Do you remember what you expected to find? Did you have any expectations?
No. No, we just thought, okay, there are a lot of people who also read the book, and we can maybe share the book with other one, and they can lend us another book to keep reading about this guy or something different. because the books were physical. There were no Kindle at that moment.
So what did you find when you got there?
A lot of funny people who were interested in the same things that we were at that moment. And I know, but we arrive and we start talking with someone randomly, and it was perfect. And yes, feel like, okay, we don't know each other, but I feel like we know each other, because we have the same interest, so we can talk. It was very relaxing feeling, because again, we were nervous with Josefina, and we were shy, but nothing like that.
So it was pretty easy to make connections, talk to people, and approach people within the meetup environment, right? How does it compare to meet new people at a place where you know that you have the same interests versus somewhere random, like either a school or work or bar or something where you have no idea, you don't know if there's something in common with the other person?
Yeah, well, actually, that was my first experience going to a place where other people were interested in the same things as myself. And that was very good, actually. Very good for my spirit to know that I can go to this meeting, and the people there is not going to say, oh no, I don't know you, so I don't talk to you, and I keep you out of my circle. That was something very common at school. No, here everybody talk to each other, and after the meeting, they say, "Hey, let's go to have dinner together the next year." Okay, let's go. It was very natural, and I think, of course, the first thing that we talk was about the books, but then we start talking about other things, right? And but knowing that all the people there, and there was 30, 40 people in that room, all interested in the same thing, it was like, okay, I'm not the only nerd in the world, but there are other people and I can talk to them.
There are other weirdos like me, basically.
Yes, I didn't want to say it.
I'll say it, it's fine. I'm more than happy. So the way that I think that works, and the way that I've been traveling for a long time, and I have to make new friends everywhere I go. The way that I think it works, and the way that I think that also it worked there for us, is we got together for a reason. We got together because of Tolkien, because of Lord of the Rings, because of The Hobbit, because of the book, maybe later some people because of the movies. But the way we actually developed a friendship was by getting out of that container, or that sort of, let's say, first connection, and talking about other stuff and hanging out outside of the regular meetups, outside of the forum. I think that's how you actually build those connections, right? Because if I do remember, I felt sorry, but it is what it is, right? Sometimes we would get people who were either very obsessed with Tolkien's work, which is great, but that was not my sort of focus. I have really bad memory. I can't tell you names of anyone, or where they went, or who's the son of whom, ruler of whatever. I have no my. Every time they had quizzes, I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. There were some people who were obsessed. They were just like, oh, I want to talk about the books. And I don't know how long you stay there, but I was part of it for 7 years or something like that. I know I left after you'd left, quite a while after. And I still remember some people who were either new or very obsessed with it. at some point I was like, look, I've already had this conversation. I already discussed so many times who's Tom Bombadil. Like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's a banned question in the forum. You're not allowed to ask it anymore, right? But I was happy to sort of socialize with someone who had the same interests, because we may have other same interests, right? Like the same people that I could talk with about Lord of the Rings. Maybe I could talk about Lovecraft or Edgar Allan Poe or video games or D&D, etc., right? Or heavy metal, like lots of people who like heavy metal within that.
Yes. And I think I was thinking when you said like about music, right? It's not all the people like the same kind of music because they like Lord of the Rings. But some of the people there, because we were a lot of people, maybe have the same interest, like you say, and it's just you have to talk, and you have the first conversation about Lord of the Rings, and then you can try to talk about other things to understand other interests that you might have in common. And that's how community building works.
So the reason why I wanted to talk about this on the podcast is because when I tell people like go and join meetups or activities that are either nerdy or not, but that have like an actual topic that is an excuse to meet other people, is because ultimately they want to find dates, right? And I find it much easier to first get to know someone, see if you like them, not just physically, but like their personality. And you already have an excuse to talk to them. It's much easier to go and approach them. It's much easier to get maybe phone numbers or whatever, Instagram, Snapchats, whatever you want to get, because it's not that clear whether you want to ask them out or not, but you at least have the contact, right?
For me, from a perspective from a woman, if a guy comes in a bar randomly and said, hey, let's talk, and then can you give me your phone? I will be like,
or on the street.
I'm not sure if, I'm not sure if I want to give you my phone number. But if you're in the context of something in common and, you already know that you have something in common and there is other people that know that this is happening, well, it's different. But again, something that you said that is important is the purpose of going to the meeting is not just finding your new partner, is meeting new people, because we want to spread our friends, our community, and know other people. And with knowing a new person, maybe you meet your new partner.
Yeah. I mean, let's say the first driver for some people would be to find a partner, right? And
yes,
that's also something that I wanted to talk about. So within the association and within the forum, we had people who were clearly there to date and people who were not. I love your face.
Yes.
And you could really tell who was there just to, let's say date to be generous, but I don't think they care about the dating part.
Yes.
And I do remember a couple of guys. One of them I will not name. I already mentioned it to you before we started recording. Do you remember what it was that he did? Because it was quite interesting, because like he kept trying and it was very obvious, and he kept getting rejected over and over again. And he became sort of like not famous, but like every time people talked about this guy, they were annoyed, both men and women.
Yes.
And it was like a very despective way of talking about him, right? Because it's it's annoying when you're trying to just like make friends and meet people that you share a passion with, and then you have someone who's just trying to get laid, right? Do you remember? And I'm sure you experienced it because I know that he was hitting on pretty much everyone.
Yes.
What it was that he was doing that made him look like a creep, which is many people's fear.
I think it was something with the attitude that he approached you. And, there are boundaries. If you try to be too close to the other person, then I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. You have to make sure that the other person wants you to be close to approach. And I think it was a combination of those things. He was like, I don't know you, and you come and you sit next to me and touch the leg. I don't know, something like that. And it was like, what are you doing? I'm already uncomfortable because you sit too close to me. And the talking, I don't remember exactly, of course, what he said, but
It was a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, but it was clear that he was only talking to you because he wants something else. And it was not about making friends. I think that was the main reason. He was not making friends.
I think that the main difference between those people who, nowadays we would say that they were harassing. We didn't have the vocabulary back then. Like the difference between being a creep or harassing people is, I think, both A, they only talk to the gender that they want, and B, they're too straightforward about what they want without even bothering to get to know the other person, see if there's any interest back. Like you were saying, like that guy would like sit next to you and touch your leg. Like if I touch your knee, I'm sure it's fine if we're chatting.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go and just touch your but I just said, like, if we're chatting, if we're having a conversation and I'm telling you something and I touch your knee, because of our cultural background, it's fine. Plus, we've known each other for over 20 years. But if it's like a random person that you have never met before, it could be weird, especially if they don't read the actual signs of you being uncomfortable.
Yes. And something else I remember about what happened to this guy in the association is that maybe I was talking to you about something and he came, interrupt us and start talking to me about blah, and he just he was like, okay, I want to date this girl, so I will talk to her, and didn't mind about everything else, all the context.
Instead of integrating himself into the conversation, which is what you would normally do if you want to just meet people, which would have been a great way to get to know you. Like, we are friends. If he gets along with me, he will get to spend more time with you.
Yes.
Honestly. I still remember one time that I went to your house and you wanted to make a cake, and you know where I'm going with this.
This is terrible.
I know it's been 20 years, but I still can't get over it. So I went to your house and there were a few more people as well. And you wanted to make a cake and you microwaved the cake. Like one of those like premixes, and you microwaved it. Half of it was raw. Half of it was, I don't know, weird.
hard to eat.
Yeah.
It was impossible to eat.
So if that guy had gone along with me, I could have taken him to your house.
Yeah, probably, yes. Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes, because that's how you build the community and your friends. If he's already friends with you, then maybe he can be friends with me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you have to be patient.
Yeah.
You have to be patient, and maybe not everyone knows that it has to be patient. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the relationships take time.
And it's not like I was gatekeeping you. It was not like, no, Vir is mine. No. I mean, you dated in between. We never dated. Like,
no.
It's, like, I don't care if you want to date him, whatever it is, it's fine. But if, like, all I'm saying is, if you integrate yourself into the group, then you will either be invited more often to hang out with the group, which includes the person you might like, or you might be able to invite the group, including the person you might like. And I've done that many times. Like I would like maybe see someone that I like, and I'll be like, okay, I want to get to know her better. I don't know if I want to go on a date yet because I don't really know her. So I'm just going to do an event, an outing, a hike, something, invite a bunch of people, including that person. Yes. And most often than not, I get to know her. Yeah, but in most cases, I get to know her and then I'm like, yeah, no, not interested. But that's...
Well, but that's very good because you realize you don't like her, but without all the weird stuff.
Without having to like put the pressure on, we're going on a date and whatever it is that goes with all that stuff, right? If I know that I like her, then sure, yeah, I'll invite her to go on a date. But otherwise, I think many people are afraid of the friend zone. It's okay if we start as friends, then I'm just gonna be stuck in the friend zone, right? And that's it. Whereas for us, I mean, like up until a few years ago when I started being a digital nomad, all my partners were friends for a few months before we started dating.
Yes.
Right. That's how I met my partners. Like we were friends, and then I liked them, and then random things happened, and then we started dating. So I guess the thing is, I think there's a fine line between, well, not so fine in some cases, but like between I want to find a date, but to find a date, I'm first going to make friends with people in general. And then if I like someone, then I'll find a way to tell them, show it, whatever it is, right?
Yes. I think it's important to be with someone because you like that person, not just because you want him to be your partner, because you have some common interest and you share conversations, meaningful conversations, and then, well, you want to date. I wanted to go there because I want to meet people, and I didn't want to date. That was not my purpose.
Well, I am hearing the shy introverts, anxious people saying like, okay, so if she's going there with not thinking about dating, why would I go there if I want to date?
Oh, okay. No, because eventually maybe someone wants to date. Maybe now I go to the group and I don't want to date. That's not my main purpose. But maybe in a few months, when I meet you, well, maybe I want to date, but not now.
I think it's not like now I'm dating, now I'm not. It's not like a switch. It's not like you're in the friend zone, you're out. I'm dating, I'm not. I think it's more like I come here to socialize and to meet people. That's goal A. if I happen to find someone that I like, and if I am open to dating in general, then sure. And the way you find that out is freaking talking.
Right.
Like hanging out, you either invite them out, you tell them that you like them and accept whether they say yes or no, and just take it as it is without worrying about what other people might think or say. But I think, because you were saying like, oh, I went there and I wasn't expecting to date, and maybe it took a few months. It may not take a few months. It may take like whatever.
1 year. Or
well,
less.
I was thinking more like half an hour, but sure, 1 year also works. I mean, a few months ago, I went dancing to dance tango, and I go to tango because I enjoy dancing, and I dance with someone, and in tango you have like 3 songs that you dance with everyone, 3 or 4 songs. And after the first song, she stops, she looks at me straight in the eye, and she says, "You have a very beautiful smile." And I was like, shit, I'm in love. That's it. I'm getting married.
Wow.
Stop everything. Done. And there was no other intention coming from her other than I want to express it. Right. And I just love that. Now, this was 12 hours before my flight out of that country. I spent 2 months there. I spent 2 months going dancing, tango, other places. I went to board game nights. I went to regular meetups. I went to many different places, right? For 2 months. The last 12 hours, I met this girl. And after the 3-4 dances, I go to her and we just start chatting. And I'm like, she's really cool. And shit, I'm leaving soon. Okay, screw it. I'm just going to ask for her contact just to have it in case I come back to the city. So I asked for her contact. Of course, she gives it to me because we have been chatting for a while. And then as I'm leaving, I meet up with her at the door, right? And she's like, "Oh, I'm going that way. Are you going that way?" And I was going to take a taxi. But I'm like, of course I'm going that way. Yeah, clearly I'm going that way. Which, I mean, it was half true. Like that was on the way to my house, but I was going to take a taxi. Not anymore. So I start walking with her and I'm like, I'm just crazy about her. And I feel like that she's also attracted. And again, we had only met for like 30 minutes. I was not there to date. I just went there because where I'm now, there's no tango. And where I'm going to go next, there probably will be no tango. So I was like, I'm just going to make the most of it and go now and just dance for a bit and then come back home.
You enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was not expecting to find anyone. And so I walked for a bit until we actually had to like split up. And like we hugged and we were like holding hands. And I just looked at her and I was like, I really want to kiss you. Because like I just couldn't process how like I met this girl like 30 minutes ago. And I just said it. And she looks at me, she gives me a hug, gives me a kiss on the cheek. And I don't know what she said. She basically said no. But of course, like, I mean, it had been like half an hour and I wasn't expecting to. I just wanted to express it. And I was like, if I had stayed here longer, I would have totally asked you out. And she said, "C'est la vie."
Oh.
So I left. I sent her a message about like, oh, how nice meeting you. Too bad that I'm leaving, whatnot. 2 weeks later, she liked 3 of my Instagram posts. Now, I don't post anything at all ever on my personal Instagram, like ever. So clearly that was a call for attention. So I was like, okay, I'll bite. Let's see. And in the end, we didn't end up meeting again because she doesn't want to travel and I don't want to be static in one place. So it's fine. But yes, we connected a lot. We both like each other a lot. We talked for a while, like long distance, and it was 30 minutes.
Cool.
So yes, it could take a year, it could take 3 months, or it could take 30 minutes. And in case anyone is wondering, like, I didn't do anything, like I didn't do anything particular. I was just like struck by her compliment, and I don't know, she liked something about me. I don't know what.
But something important is that you were enjoying dancing.
Yeah.
You were there because you enjoy that and you like that. And most probably you express that when you dance, you show to her that you were there because you like that situation.
Yeah.
And that's something that makes connection.
Yeah. It's I'm here because we both share the same something.
Yes. Yes.
Right. The same hobby, the same career, the same interest, something. We have something in common, and when we left, like from the time we left the dancing place to when we split up, we didn't talk about tango. Like, I think I asked her like how she started dancing tango, and then we started talking about other stuff, which is how you actually build relationships, right?
Right.
So I think that's the same way that thing that happened in the association. And I remember, like, we had quite a few different couples that got formed in there, including my own. Like, I had a very long relationship that came from there. Which lasted way too long. But it was the same thing, right? Like, we were friends for like a year until something actually happened. And she did, later found out that she did actually like me all the time. She just didn't think that I was interested. And in the beginning, I was like, yeah, she is hot. But then I got to know her. I'm like, no, I'm just going to stick to being friends. I'm not interested in having something. And then just get building up. And then we end up dating. So.
Yes, for me, I don't actually remember how it was. I remember I met someone there in the association, but he was part of the group of friends. And then later, when I started the university, we started dating, but it was like a long process again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think it was very important having something in common and then building the relationship outside that, and going to other places to be friends and to know that you share other things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Nice.
Is there anything that you would like to add about this?
No. Maybe something important these days, that everything is virtual, that you have to be out there. You have to put yourself out there. Otherwise, well, nothing will happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming back, Vir.
Thank you. Pleasure.
And everyone else, take care and go socialize. Bye. Do you want a cheat code to level up? Listening to more episodes will help you learn the skills faster. So make sure you follow the show